Just 1 year after moving to Man City, reports say that Savinho could be on his way out of the club this summer. It's come as a shock to many City fans and the larger football community, and a lot of people have been questioning the decision. In this video today, we'll try to answer that big question. Why do Man City want to get rid of Savinho already? When Manchester City paid €25 million for Savinho last summer, everyone thought it was a steal. This was a 20-year-old winger who had just come out of a very successful season in Spain where he scored 11 goals and provided 10 assists in all competitions, completed more dribbles than any other player in La Liga, and helped Girona mount an unlikely title challenge. He was so good that he was named in the La Liga team of the season and finished above the likes of Arda Güler, Garnacho and Endrick in the 2024 Golden Boy rankings. So, at that price, it was certainly a great deal for City, no questions about it. In fact, in his early days at the club, many fans were already likening him to Riyad Mahrez. Even Mahrez himself gave his stamp of approval after watching a clip of the kid on social media. With Doku on one side and Savinho on the other, it looked to everyone like Pep Guardiola was finally going back to his roots of having natural flying wingers. You know, like in the days of Sterling, Sané and Mahrez. So what the heck went wrong? Well, simply put, the 2024-25 season happened. We don't need to remind you how bad last season was for Man City. You saw it all. You lived through it. The season really forced Pep to do a lot of things he normally wouldn't have done. In January, he went out and bought a striker in Omar Marmoush, even though he already had Haaland. He bought Nico, who he has since used only sparingly. He bought Victor Reis, who's already off to Girona on loan. He also bought Kusanov. Now, this summer, he's gone to buy James Trafford, which means that he's now prioritising shot stopping, and he might be ready to give up an essential part of his style, which is having a ball-playing goalkeeper to help play out from the back smoothly. Also, having said goodbye to De Bruyne, he bought Reinders, and after Foden had a poor season, he went and bought Shirky. On top of that, his purchase of Ait Nouri seems to indicate that he's tired of experimenting with centre-backs at left-back, so he went for an actual left-back with Premier League experience. But having put this really good team together, he was still knocked out in the round of 16 of the Club World Cup by a team from the Saudi Pro League. So that probably drove Pep into overthinking mode. There is still something missing here, he thinks. We all know that this man is obsessed with winning, so it won't be enough for him to be in the Premier League title race this season. He actually wants to win it. But looking at what his rivals have been doing in the transfer window, he probably doesn't think that he can win the league with what he has. Of course, Haaland guarantees loads and loads of goals, but each time City have won the league, they've also had incredible attacking output from somewhere else apart from centre forward. In the 2017-18 season, Aguero was the main source of goals, but he had Sterling, De Bruyne and Sané contributing significantly with goals and assists. In 2018-19, it was Sterling and Sané again. In the 2020-2021 season, it was Gundogan and De Bruyne. In 21-22, it was De Bruyne and Sterling. In 22-23, it was De Bruyne and Mahrez, and in 23-24, it was Foden and De Bruyne. Right now, De Bruyne, Sterling, Sané and Mahrez are all gone. Gundogan is way past his prime, and Foden suffered a nasty drop in form. So Pep can't seem to trust any of the other guys to support Haaland when it comes to attacking output. So perhaps he's now contemplating bringing in someone who'll be a ceiling raiser, hence the club's links with Rodrigo. Considering how well the Brazilian has performed against City in the past, Pep probably sees him as a player who can wreak some havoc for him. But to sign a high-profile attacker like Rodrigo, he would have to make a big sale, and right now. Savinho seems like the most dispensable. He scored only 3 goals for Man City, and that's just not very encouraging. For context, Rodrigo has scored more goals against City than Savinho has scored for City. Also, even without bringing in Rodrigo, Pep has about 5 players who can play Savinho's role to a great extent. Oscar Bob is a left-footed right winger. We've seen Bernardo Silva play there countless times. Doku can be deployed on the right, and of course Foden and Shirky can also slot in as right wingers. So even without signing a replacement, Pep surely feels confident that he can comfortably replace Savinho's 3 goals a season from the right wing. And it's not just about that, you know. Some fans have said it's senseless for City to be selling the young players like Savinho and McAtee while the old guys like Gundogan and Bernardo Silva are still there. But that leads us to our next point. It's all for profit. Whether you like it or not, football is a business. And when clubs see a good opportunity to make a profit, it's difficult for them to turn it down. To be fair, it's not like Man City are trying to force him out or anything. According to reports, it was Spurs who came asking for him, and Pep normally does not like blocking players when they try to move. So if Savinho decides to leave, City will see this as a brilliant opportunity to make some real profit this window. With Son having left the club, Maddison expected to be out for most of the season due to an ACL injury, Timo Werner's loan deal expired, Mikey Moore off to Rangers on loan, and Richarlison just unreliable, Spurs are pretty desperate for more attacking reinforcement now that they'll be playing Champions League football. So City are probably thinking that they can profit off of that desperation. Considering they bought Savinho for just 25 million euros, they could easily make a 100% profit from his sale to Spurs. So why not? The truth is that players like Gundogan and Bernardo Silva will not make them this much profit, that's for sure. When they sold Alvarez last summer, it wasn't like Pep didn't like him. The player wanted to leave and the club saw a chance to make tremendous profit from his sale. They just could not turn it down. So that could just be the situation right now. But what's most likely is that this is a combination of all the factors. The fact that Savinho is not always involved in the goals and cannot decide games by himself, coupled with the fact that Man City seems sort of overloaded in that position, makes the 21-year-old a very dispensable player right now. And then if there's a club offering you some good money for a dispensable player, why the heck would you turn it down, even if they are your rivals? It's sort of like Noni Madueke moving to Arsenal. He was very dispensable for Chelsea, and Arsenal were offering them a profit on him. Chelsea would actually have been stupid not to sell. And to crown it all, the fact that Savinho's sale could open up a possibility for the club to sign a better and more established winger just puts the icing on the cake for Manchester City. When you look at it like this, it begins to make sense why City seem to be ready to get rid of the Brazilian winger just 1 year after signing him. One last reason to be considered is that Pep is probably nearing the end of his time at Manchester City, so he's not really interested in building up players for the future, as he might not be a part of that future. So what he's focused on is buying players who will deliver right now. And when you look at his recent signings, Marmoush, Reinders, Shirky, Trafford and Ait-Nouri, that theory makes a lot of sense. They might be relatively young, but these are all ready-made proven players. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Why do you think City are looking to move Savinho on just 1 year after signing him? Do you think it's the right play, or should they be patient with him considering he's still young and he has a lot of potential? If they do sell him, who do you think Man City should go out and get? Rodrigo, Barcola, Leao? Or do you think that they should maybe break the bank and go for a player like Vinny Jr.? Get in the comments and talk to us. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that